This is Copper 90, and these are our top 10 fastest league title wins. At 10, it's Arsenal with 4 games to spare. Arsenal fans, these were the days. The invincible days. Patrick Vieira patrolling and controlling, Robert Perez flexing his hips, Freddie Ljungberg doing his bits, and Thierry Henry scoring goals. Loads of delicious goals. After finishing second to Manchester United the previous year, Arsene Wenger's Gunners wowed the world with an undefeated league season that hadn't been seen in professional English football since Preston in the 1880s. Winning 26 games and drawing 12, Arsenal grabbed the Premier League title with 4 games to go, miles ahead of Chelsea. At 9, it's Manchester United. Though United's 99-2000 season was deemed as a relative failure compared to their emphatic treble the year before, they absolutely steamrolled the Premier League. The defending champions secured their 6th title in 8 seasons in a 3-1 away victory at Southampton, with goals from a trademark Beckham free kick, an own goal from Francis Bonali, and a classy Solskjaer finish, ensuring the last 4 games could be played at a sleepwalker's pace. It ended a controversial year on a high point for the Reds, who declined to compete in the FA Cup to take part in the inaugural FIFA World Cup Championships in Brazil, but ended up finishing 3rd in their group and coming home with a devil's tail between their legs. At 8, it's Inter Milan with 5 games to spare. A cult classic Inter Milan side stormed to a 2nd successive Scudetto in the 2006-2007 season with 5 games left to play. The title was won after a 2-0 victory over Siena in April, with both goals scored by Italy's cuddliest centre-half, Marco Materazzi. With this the first Serie A held without the presence of the old lady Juventus, Inter racked up a 17-game winning spree, an achievement still unbeaten in Serie A. The squad was peppered with big names. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Hernan Crespo scored over 35 goals between them. Adriano and Luis Figo provided technical support. Maicon and Maxwell kept it real at the back, and Julio Cesar was the cat between the sticks. This was a true champagne season for Roberto Mancini's Milanese boys. At 7, it's Man United again. When Robin van Persie slammed the ball high into Brad Guzan's net to complete the 31-minute hat-trick against Aston Villa in April 2013, Manchester United's future looked all gravy. Sir Alex Ferguson had led United to his most dominant title of the lot with 5 games to go. City were 11 points behind, RVP was banging them in, Wayne Rooney was still all rosy, and nobody was worried about Johnny Evans at centre-back. A month later, Fergie decided that enough was enough, and leaving what in his fine words was a squad that bodes well for continued success, handed the reins over to David Moyes and the dead men. At 6, it's Hereford with 6 games to spare. Hereford United dissolved back in 2014, but its reincarnation Hereford FC is going some way to repair the damage. With the words Forever United and the Hereford Bull image on their badge, Hereford FC took another giant hoof closer to the Football League this season by winning promotion from the 8th tier of English footy with 6 games left to play. Hereford have won 29 of their 36 league games so far this season, losing just once, and their crowd of 1,807 during their 4-0 win at Salisbury on Saturday was bigger than all of the other 10 Southern League Division 1 South and West games put together. At 5, it's Dinamo Zagreb with 6 games to spare. Back in the 07-08 season, defending champions Dinamo Zagreb slalomed to their 12th championship title with a silly 6 games left on the fixture list. The Zagreb side had dominated all season and completed their title defence with an emphatic 6-1 victory. Zagreb ended up 28 points ahead of second-place Slaven Belupo, with the perennially classy Luka Modric tallying up 13 league goals, big boy Mario Mandzukic scoring 12, and £5.8 million Aston Villa flop Bosco Balaban notching 11. They had goals all over the pitch. At 4 is Copenhagen with 7 games to spare. Having won the Danish top-flight title in 8 of the previous 11 seasons, FC Copenhagen continued their reign supreme in the 2010-2011 campaign by sauntering to the title with an unholy 7 games to spare. Manager Ståle Solbakken, who recently had an unsuccessful few months at Wolves in the English Championship, headed up the campaign which saw them finish a naughty 27 points ahead of second place Odense. Copenhagen also became the first Danish club to reach the knockout round of 16 in the Champions League, putting up a Vikings fight in a 2-0 aggregate loss to Carlo Ancelotti's Chelsea. At 3, it's Bayern Munich with 7 games to spare. With Easter still only a glint in Joseph's eye, Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich stomped to their 24th Bundesliga title with a ridiculous 7 games to spare in a 3-1 away win against Hertha Berlin. By this stage, Munich had won 19 league games in a row, a Bundesliga record, not lost for 52 league games, another Bundesliga record, and clinched the earliest title in Bundesliga history, a record they themselves had set in the previous year. With Arjen Robben, Frank Ribery, Thomas Muller, Mario Götze, Mario Mandzukic and Claudio Pizarro all chalking up double figures in the league by the close of the campaign, this was a very decent football team in spectacularly fine form. At 2 is PSG with 8 games to spare. By the second week of March last year, PSG had already wrapped up the 2015-16 Ligue 1 title and put it in a lovely little box for next year. Zlatan scored 4 in a merciless 9-0 demolishing job of Troyes to put the Parisians 25 points clear of second place Monaco and secure their 4th league title in a row with 8 games to go. Laurent Blanc's boys had only lost once all season in the league and followed up the previous season's domestic treble with another, mopping up the Coupe de la Ligue and the Coupe de France with merciless ease. And our number 1, it's Celtic with 8 games to spare. Celtic's dominance of the Scottish Premier League was taken to new heights this year, as Brendan Rodgers' green and white boys stomped to the title with 8 games to go. Rodgers had a sticky start to his Celtic career, as the side succumbed to Gibraltarian part-time team Lincoln Red Imps in one of the club's most embarrassing defeats ever. Bar a 7-0 thrashing at the Catalonian hands of Barcelona, Celtic have been smashing it ever since. They're on course to be the first Scottish side since 1898 to remain unbeaten across a league season. They're on for a domestic treble, and they have one of the most sought-after youngsters in the world in Moussa Dembele. Dembele has scored 32 goals this season to help transform Celtic into a side that fans will hope can put forward a significant European challenge next year. That was Copper90's top 10 fastest league title wins. What did we miss? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Copper90.